Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in and checking out my latest video. Now, today's video is going to be talking about the upcoming matchup taking place in Malaysia between Manny Pacquiao versus Lucas Matthysse. My opinion, both of these guys are never in a boring fight, so I think this is a matchup that you cannot miss. A lot's on the line in this fight for both of these fighters, especially Manny Pacquiao, because everybody is saying Pacquiao's done as an elite fighter. He doesn't have anything left after losing to Jeff the Headbutter Horn in Australia. Now, it's a key fight, so both guys are going to be desperate to look good in this matchup. So I think that we're really going to get a top level fight and a very exciting fight, in my opinion. Now, in this video, guys, I'm going to talk about what both of these fighters do very well and ultimately who I think will win this fight. And I'm also going to have some text throughout the video of some of the undercard fights, some fighters you need to look out for, because in my opinion, it's a pretty good undercard. So let's get right into it. Let's first start off with Lucas Matthysse and what he brings to the table in this fight. Lucas Matthysse is a vicious puncher. He uses his jab very well, singular jabs. Also, he'll use that double jab to set up right hands. Throws a very good straight right, as I just alluded to. Left hook is vicious. And one of my favorite combinations that Lucas Matthysse throws is he throws that jab, right hand, and then he'll change levels and come up with a right uppercut. Very effective weapon for him. Also, you'll see Matthysse be able to fight on the inside at times, really mix up combinations, head body shots. So Matthysse does a lot of things very well, and he's underrated, I believe, in my opinion, in terms of his boxing ability. Now, when I look at Manny Pacquiao, what he brings to the table in this fight, Pacquiao, of course, out of that southpaw stance, blistering hand speed. He's got excellent foot movement. He darts in and out, uses very unique angles. He'll throw combination punches at times. His movement is excellent. He's very hard to time. And also, he'll give you some counterpunching skills as well. So Pacquiao is a complete fighter. In my opinion, he's been in there with some of the best competition in the last 20 years, in my opinion. So both of these guys have good skill sets, and it's going to be an exciting fight. So let's talk about the advantages that they have over one another in this matchup. Let's first start off with Lucas Matthysse and some advantages that he has over Manny Pacquiao in this fight. So I believe that Lucas Matthysse has the power advantage in this matchup. I also feel that if the fight goes on the inside, Lucas Matthysse is a better inside fighter of the two. Also, last but not least, Lucas Matthysse is the bigger fighter, so that's definitely an advantage strength-wise and size-wise for Lucas Matthysse in this encounter. Now, looking at Manny Pacquiao in this fight, some advantages that he has over Lucas Matthysse, he's got that hand speed. Also, his foot speed and movement are better than Lucas Matthysse's. I also believe his defense is better. And Pacquiao also is more unpredictable just due to the angles he uses. When a guy like Floyd Mayweather is saying he's never seen a lot of fighters use angles like that ever, that it shows you the complement of the angles that Manny Pacquiao uses and how tricky that is for other boxers to deal with. So, some keys for both of these fighters, in my opinion, guys, in this matchup. I believe that Lucas Matthysse is going to try to back Manny Pacquiao up, walk him down, and get him in stationary positions. Use that size advantage, sort of like Jeff Horn did, and fight on the inside at times with Pacquiao, and use the strength and see how Pacquiao deals with that. I also believe that they're going to try to set up Manny Pacquiao for some right hand counters. Everybody tries to do this after Marquez knocked out Pacquiao. They try to set him up for that right hand. However, like I said, Juan Manuel Marquez is a special fighter, and he's fought Pacquiao a number of times. It's not as easy as people think to land that one-punch knockout on Pacquiao. People seem to think this is an easy thing to do. It is not. Now, Manny Pacquiao, from his team, I think he's going to want to keep this fight in the center of the ring. Another key for Pacquiao is when he is cornered in a stationary spot, he needs to roll under and get out like he used to do so many times in the past against guys like Margarito, land combinations, duck under, and he's in a safe spot where he can use his effective boxing skills. Also, of course, Pacquiao is going to be trying to set up that straight left hand. And some key things in this fight to look out for. Joel Diaz is training Lucas Matthysse. I really respect Joel Diaz's work. However, he had a fighter in Timothy Bradley that matched up good against Pacquiao because he had movement, he had a high-level boxing IQ, and they never figured out Manny Pacquiao or that straight left hand. So I have a hard time believing that Lucas Matthysse is going to be able to avoid that straight left hand if a guy like Timothy Bradley did with superior defense and skills. Matthyse's defense isn't the greatest. Also, another factor in this fight is Matthysse, I think going over, he just actually went over to Malaysia, so it's kind of cutting it a little bit short for the travel wise and time wise, things like that. Just something interesting to look out for in this fight. And Matthysse, another thing with him is he's been in some brutal fights in recent years. Like the Ruslan Provodnikov fight was crazy. He hurt his elbow bone versus Victor Postel. Also, Danny Garcia gave him a similar injury. So these type of fights start to add up. And then he had that war with John Molina. So there's a lot of recent number of fights that Matthysse has had that definitely take your toll on a fighter. Pacquiao has been in a lot of wars in the past, but in number of years he hasn't been. So that's definitely an advantage that I feel that Manny Pacquiao at this point of his career has more prime left than Matthysse does, in my opinion. A lot of people disagree with that because in the old days, Manny Pacquiao would have destroyed Jeff the Headbutter Horn, easy work, but he struggled with him in that fight. So ultimately, guys, in my opinion, I'm going to take Manny Pacquiao actually by a late stoppage in this fight. I know he hasn't had a stoppage in forever. I just think that with Lucas Matthyse's history of eye injuries and the way that Pacquiao moves in and out, and Matthysse, I believe, will try to walk him down. Pacquiao has shown in the past he destroys guys that try to do that. Pacquiao has trouble when guys can counter him or they move around and stuff like that. Matthysse is not going to do that. So I actually think that Pacquiao will get a late stoppage in this fight, maybe around the 10th round. Accumulation of punches. I also think Matthysse will be cut, so we won't be able to see. And I have Pacquiao by that reason. Also, when you look at Mathisse's old footage, he struggles with straight left hands and right hooks from southpaws, and Manny Pacquiao does both of those very well. So I ultimately just think that Pacquiao has too many tools. I think he's a better boxer of the two. However, in saying all this, you have to be careful because Lucas Matthysse, and this is what he brings the element of the fight that people were going to be excited for, is Matthysse can knock you out with one punch at any time. Look at his last fight with Tuia Karam, the huge Thailand fighter. He hit that guy with the right hand, put him out after, in my opinion, it was a very close fight. So Matthysse is a type of guy you can never count out, and especially if he can dictate where the fight takes place versus Pacquiao, and if he can wear Pacquiao out with that size and his power punching skills, it's going to be an interesting fight, and definitely one you don't want to sleep on Lucas Matthysse in this fight. However, I do expect Manny Pacquiao to win. Matthysse will have his moments at times, I think, though, in my opinion. Early in the fight, I will say. Let me know what you guys think on this fight, guys. Ultimately, what's your prediction for this matchup? And what do you want to see the winner do after this fight? Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in and checking out this video. Appreciate it. Thank you once again.